Good morning. Welcome to the Four Corners Economic Breakfast. These are wonderful events for the community and for us as an organization as well. It's a gathering of business and industry and individuals that's interested in the Four Corners area. It's an opportunity for us to bring before you newsmakers and unique projects that will better our community and have the opportunity to advance our economy as well. Of course, this is a quarterly breakfast, and I have a hard time, without looking ahead, to look back first. It was 1 year ago that I stood before you for my first quarterly breakfast. So February 16th was my first day. And I remember walking in, and I had this blue jacket on. And a lot of folks wondered, what have we got ourselves in for at this point? You know, if you have to plug something in at night for it to be that bright for 7:30 in the morning, then something's going on here. So that's the reason why I had to wear that again today. But it's been a very, very interesting year. Economic development is always about taking advantage of your fortes, taking advantage of your competitive advantages, the things that you have that simply makes sense for business and industry to take advantage of. And that's what's happening in this region, and that's what you're going to hear about this morning as well. Now, we try to make the trains run on time, but there's a little bit of housekeeping we need to do as well. And I'm always very, very nervous when I start recognizing the elected officials and our key partners. So if I do happen to miss one, it's not by intent. It's simply, but you've snuck in and I didn't get to see you. And these are not in any order because these are my scribbling that I got as you walk through the door here. But each one of you are important for our residents, for our businesses, and for Four Corners Economic Development. We have Kimberly Simpson, the city of Bloomfield. And I do have to say, for Kimberly and also for the mayor, for Cynthia, I apologize because for a week ago, I went before the city council, and we're doing our tours. We're going before council, and we're looking back at what 2024 was and what 2025 may be, and how FORSED's affecting that future. But I walked into that city council after spending a day in Santa Fe with 26 slides. 40 minutes later, everyone was like, please just leave. It was just way too much. Because we wanted to show the activity of the organization and the opportunity for 2025. We also have Jim Crowley from Aztec. We have three of our county commissioners. We have Sandra Lanier, Sam Gonzalez, who's also doing the catering today, so thank you very much on that, and Terry Fortner. We got Stephen Cervevo from the county. We got Rob May, the city manager from the city of Farmington. We got Jeff DeMont from Senator Heinrich's office. And we also have Steve Novell, who's no longer our senator, but still a powerful force and a mentor for a lot of us in this community. So the first thing that I want to do is introduce the first speaker, and that is Danielle Todacheene. It's close, okay? For a kid from Appalachia with a speech impediment, that's about as good as it's going to get, okay? And she's the Director of Engagement and the Field Director, Northern Agency for Four Corners Clean Energy Alliance. And I said, how would you like the company to be introduced for what you do? And they're an alliance, they're advocate, they're looking for ways to do energy in responsible, clean ways, and also take advantage of the advantages that we have in this region. But she's deeply committed to fostering a sustainable energy future through the implementation of innovative solutions and establishing of strategic partnerships. Her dedication to shaping energy, environment, and natural resources through clean energy practices is evident in her work within the Northern Agency. Over a decade of experience in natural resources and business development, she's recognized as a leader in her field in addition to the Farmington's Citizens Police Advisory Committee, and holds various memberships and board positions, including the National Coal Transportation Association Board, the American Coal Council, Tomorrow's Leadership Council, and the Rocky Mountain Coal Mining Institute. Her academic achievements include a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology, an MBA from New Mexico Highlands University, and her educational background, coupled with her professional experience, has equipped her with the skills and the knowledge necessary to drive forward positive change in the energy and beyond. So it's my honor to bring to the microphone for Danielle from Four Corners Clean Energy Alliance.
Excuse me. Yata benen Danielle Todacheene and Leonard by Naka by Shishchin, Tsiskletni, Dashache, Naka by Shanali. Good morning, everybody. My name is Danielle Todacheene. I am a Dene woman. I am born for the Mexican people, and I am from the Shiprock area. I was raised in St. Louis, Missouri. And I come to you today. I am honored to stand before you, and I thank the Four Corners Economic Development for allowing me this time to present on our company, the Four Corners Clean Energy. As he stated, I am the Director of Engagement and a Field Director for Northern Agency. Today, we embark on a journey towards a sustainable clean energy for the Four Corners region. Rooted in the Navajo Nation, our vision is to lead the clean energy innovation and collaboration, transforming the Four Corners into a hub for sustainable development. Our mission at Four Corners Clean Energy is clear. That is to drive economic growth, community enrichment, and environmental health. We stand for economic vitality, community well-being, and the implementation of sustainable energy practices. Through our commitment to regional development and environmental protection, we strive to create a better tomorrow for all. As we move forward, inclusivity, transparency, and fact-based dialogue, we will guide you on a path toward progress. Four Corners Clean Energy Alliance is a 501c4 organization, and we are dedicated to investing the future in our region. With investments in clear energy projects, we are laying the foundation for a brighter, cleaner energy in the Four Corners regions. Slide 2. Our membership, if you would take a look at the pie chart, we have a great diverse group of 13 members in our organizations, which include higher education institutes, academia, business, and organized labor unions, such as the 627 Boilermakers. We have great community partners, which are not members. And right here in our own Four Corners, we have a hidden gem, and that would be the San Juan College School of Energy. And that's Alicia Corbell and her group. And they're on the ground, and they're ahead of time, where they are looking forward into the future for all these jobs that are coming into the Four Corners regions. They're getting people trained for the local workforce, and they're putting people in the pipelines for these jobs and to be filled and ready to go. So just like to give that announcement for San Juan College School of Energy. Alicia, thank you. Thank you for being a partner. Next, allow me to introduce the esteemed board members of the Four Corners Clean Energy Alliance. If you take a look on our list, our diverse and inclusive board with a majority of Native American representation reflects our dedication to unity and empowerment within our organizations. I know I have some board members here today. Could you please wave your hand? Sitting all around. Thank you guys for attending. So the Four Corners Clean Energy staff behind us, there's 5 of us in our group total. We've got Matthew Gonzalez, who's an interim executive director. There's me. You all might recognize Tom Chi. He's a cultural advisor. He's also a former council delegate for Shiprock area. We've got Dwayne Todacheene, who's also a field director in the Western Agency, and he is also a former delegate within his area. And last but not least is Jacob Garcia. He's the director of communications. He does a lot of the social medias and video and all that fun stuff for us. Outreach and highlights. In the past year, our outreach efforts have been profound, from conducting insightful chapter meetings to delivering educational Energy 101 presentation to participating Navajo agencies, and also to the Navajo agency fairs. We have demonstrated our unwavering commitment to community engagement, education, and empowering the realm of clean energy development. Our member newsletter campaigns have seen remarkable success with a high open rates of 50% and increased subscriber engagement, nearly 1,000 contacts. That's pretty incredible for being a 401c3 or 4. By strategically leveraging various outreach channels, we have exceeded industry standards and continuously expanded our reach within the community. Social media, on our social media initiatives, such as we have the Know the Truth campaign, which we aim to provide factual information and dispel misinformation surrounding clean energy. As you will see here, here's just like a little tidbit that we post on our social media. We take our oppositions, what they say is their truth, which is normally a myth, and we put it against our truth, which is the facts. Through our robust online presence, we have reached 100,000 of individuals, fostering meaningful connections and transparent communications with our audience. So our radio advertisements, we are proud to showcase the impact of our KNDN and KTN radio ads presented by Victor D. He's a trusted local from Red Mesa chapter area, and just a fun fact, that's Boo Nygren's area also, where he was raised. So just a little tidbit. Victor communicates in the Navajo language catered to our elders. Victor's outreach efforts have proven effective in reaching individuals without access to electricity, broadband, traditional newspaper outlets. These initiatives amplify our unwavering commitment to community involvement, education, and empowerment. We have Tom Chi, who is the Four Corners Clean Energy Cultural Advisor and former council delegate from the Shiprock area, has played a key role in creating a thought-provoking 5-episode series titled Thoughts from My Saddle. He presents this in Navajo, and he reaches out toward a lot of the grassroots people and all the communities around the Navajo Nation. And with him, he explores the dynamic relationship between energy development, cultural preservation, and economic progress within the Navajo Nation. So the first week that we did air Tom's first video, episode 1, it had over 30,000 online views, and that's a lot. So on this one, it's called SESDOL. It's for the Clean Energy Summit for Dene leaders. Last year, we presented a valuable opportunity to host the Clean Energy Summit at Twin Arrows. There was 120 attendees. In fact, at one point, there was only standing room, so they were able to extend out the wall just a little, just enough to get a few more people in. Literally, we had people standing up still. And at one point, they closed it off and said, no more, we can't do this, it's a fire hazard. So that just goes to show how many people were taking advantage of coming to hear what people had to say. It involved industry, elected leaders, advocates, chapter officials, and community members. They all engaged in enlightening discussions, listening to impactful presentations, and absorbed insightful keynote addresses. Throughout this event, we showcased forward-thinking strategies and explored the immense potential opportunities for advancing clean energy development within the Navajo Nation. At the close of this summit, I am pleased to observe that our collective efforts have united us in exploring pioneer strategies that have the potential to revolutionize energy production for a sustainable and eco-conscious future. And we've been getting a lot, since our summit, we've been getting a lot of inquiries, people wanting to know when we were going to put on the next one. We are currently in the process of doing that. I know last year we had it in April of 2024. This year, unfortunately, the Navajo Nation Economic Development has taken that slot from us, and we don't want to compete with them, so we're going to go ahead and push it back a couple more months, and we will let everybody know. We'll make sure we get the save the date out to Tim and his group so everybody can take part in that. So in this upcoming one that we are going to go ahead and present, we're going to give it a new name. It's not going to be for Navajo or Dene leaders. This time we're adding Indigenous leaders. So it's going to be called Clean Energy Summit for Indigenous Leaders. And the reason for that is we are inviting all 55 recognized tribes from all the Four Corners regions. So just a recap, our radio advertisements, video series, and Clean Energy Summit for Dene leaders have further showcased our dedication to community involvement, education, and empowerment. By engaging with stakeholders at all levels, we are paving the way for inclusive, sustainable development within the Navajo Nation and beyond. So on this next couple of 7 slides, I say couple, 7 slides, these are projects on or around the Navajo Nation. I just want to be clear that I'm just letting you know these are projects that are happening on or around the Navajo Nations, and they are amazing opportunities for not only this region, but for the Navajo Nation. They're bringing jobs into the area, bringing the economic development up. And, this helps us to grow and diversify as a clean energy development. So I'll just go ahead and show you. We have right here the renewable energy projects. Just real quickly, we have North Path transmission line. We've got the Four Corners power plant carbon capture study. We have the San Juan Solar One project. We have the Four Corners Solar Center. And then we've got the Sun Bear Solar Farm Initiative. And then the Southline Transmission Project. We also mining. Mining's another one. As you know, Navajo Mine, operated by Navajo Transitional Energy Company. There's a lot of oil and gas projects out there that are waiting to start. We've got in the San Juan Basin. We have the Navajo Nation Oil and Gas Company, which is a Navajo Nation enterprise, and they're mainly midstream, but they also do other things than oil and gas. We have Harvest Midstream. We have pipelines, where Western Spirit Pipeline, Greenview projects. We all know Greenview. They're out there, they're proposing a hydrogen pipeline through the Navajo Nation. And they've done a really good job of getting out there and getting in touch with the community members and letting them know, this is what we'd like and this is how we want to present it to you. And a lot of reflection back from the community and their thoughts shared with them. So they've been really doing a really good outreach. And on the bottom, we have Kinder Morgan CO2 pipeline network. And then we've got some carbon sequestration projects, which is a Class 6 primacy for New Mexico. We've got the Farmington Carbon Hub. We've got the Four Corners CCS demonstration. And with all that, I mean, there's just so many economic opportunities that we have here in the San Juan, in the Four Corners. And again, I just wanted to show there's those projects out there, and that we together, not only with the Navajo Nation, but us here that live off the Navajo Nation, that we can take part in that, and we can be one community moving forward to cleaner energy. At the end here, I'd just like to take the time to say thank you guys. It was a wonderful opportunity, and I ask you to join us. Go to our website at fourcornerscleanenergyalliance.org, sign up on our newsletter so you can receive that. You can go ahead and go to our online too, or our website, and you can watch the videos. You can see Victor D's radio advertisement from KNDN. You can watch the CESNO presentation. You can also look at Tom's videos there. Other than that, again, you can find us on YouTube and Facebook. That would be our, you would go / and then our name, Four Corners Clean Energy Alliance. Thank you guys for your time, and thank you for just being here today.
Our next presentation today is from Leonard J. Palmer, Sr. He's the safety manager for Navajo Mines and with NTEC as well. He's had an extraordinary career. It spanned over 40 years. He's a testament to dedication, leadership, and expertise. Since joining Navajo Mine in 1985, he's made significant impact through a series of diverse roles that showcase his adaptability and his commitment to excellence. Starting as a utility laborer, his career trajectory includes positions as a blaster, apprentice mechanic, maintenance lead person, maintenance supervisor, maintenance planner, general senior supervisor for maintenance, safety specialist, and ultimately the safety manager. He's got 22 years within maintenance operations where his technical skills and leadership abilities has set the standard for the organization. It's always been looking out for the well-being of the employees and fostering a culture of accountability and for safety excellence. He's had profound contributions to the mine and he will end his well-deserved career with retirement in February of 2025. His academic and professional accomplishments reflect his lifelong pursuit of knowledge and growth. He earned his Bachelor's of Science in Business with a concentration in management in January of 2012 and achieved the prestigious Certified Mine Safety Professional designation in May of 2013. Additionally, he's acquired numerous safety certifications, received multiple awards recognized for his outstanding contributions to the mine and its workforce. Leonard and his wife Cheryl have built a rich life together in Fruitland, New Mexico, where they have raised their family and now embarked on a new chapter, assisting in the upbringing of 2 beloved grandchildren. As Leonard prepares to close his remarkable chapter of his career, his legacy of leadership, dedication, and for care of others will be continue and will inspire those that follow his footsteps at Navajo Mine. Now it's my honor to bring to the podium Leonard J. Palmer, Sr.
Good morning, everyone. How's everybody this morning? Excellent. First of all, I want to say something. Where's Andy Hawkins at? There he is. This guy lied to me. He told me there's only going to be 10 people here. I'm just kidding. So, my name is Leonard Palmer Sr., and I've lived here all my life in Upper Fruitland. Run around here in Farmington back in the 60s and early 70s, and so on and so forth. I watched Farmington grow, and I love this place. And I think you guys all know that this is a beautiful place to live at, and it's a beautiful place to raise your children, and now my grandchildren. Back in July of last year, I was asked if I can help out with the presentations. And the presentation is about extending the life of the power plant and the coal mine. As we all know that power plants are not looked upon as a good thing, but NTEC has run this business now for over 8 years, 9 years, or something like that, 10 years. They have some good value points to ensure that we still have jobs here in this county and sustain what we have. So they asked me to go out and and communicate with the grandmas and grandpas on the reservation. So starting in July of last year, and to this day, I've probably visited about maybe 40 chapter houses. It's very difficult to explain what CO2 is to grandma and grandpa, or how to say shareholders. There's a lot of words in there that you cannot say in Navajo. You have to describe it. But the problem that I see today, though, is as I go out into this presentation with the chapter houses, is there's a couple of folks out there. There's some 40-year-olds and younger that don't speak the Navajo language very well. And I do all my presentation in Navajo. And I was going to do it in Navajo, but since Jim's here, I figured I better stay in English. And usually when I do my presentation in Navajo, it takes about 20 minutes to do this presentation. But to do it in English, it probably takes 8 to 10 minutes. So this is some of the things that I cover with them. And one of the first things I asked them is, do you guys have an idea what NTEC stands for? Navajo Transitional Energy Company. And then I will explain to them what is transitional. And grandmas and grandpas like, don't know. So this is how I would explain it to them. Back in the day, we used to have wagons and horses in order to transport things. Today, we refer a pickup truck to transport. So we transition from horse and wagon to pickup trucks. So they have an idea. And then I tell them about power, energy. We make electricity. We're transitioning of how we make electricity with new renewables to ensure that we sustain the values that were given to us. So the 22nd Navajo Nation Council of Development of NTEC gave us a couple of values for us to follow. The first one is economic sovereignty. We all know what that means, how we can sustain ourselves and how we can maintain what we got and make those decisions and keep moving on. And the stuff that we have on the Navajo Nation. I put materials up there because grandma and grandpa don't really have an understanding of when you say like resources. They're like, what do you mean resources? So I explained to them coal, oil, and that kind of stuff so they can have an understanding of how we need to be responsible to make sure that when we go into these areas that we are taking care of Mother Earth, which is the fourth bullet item. We want to make sure that when we produce these, the power that we're doing, or the energy, that we want to do it with clean energy, which is maintaining and ensuring that the air quality is still clean and the water is still clean and Mother Earth don't get damaged. And if you go into the mine, you can actually see some of the work that Reclamation has done. They've gone back and really did a good job of reclaiming the land. And then the last one is keeping forefront of the new energy projects. And this is what it is. Nav Energy have decided that we're going to do some things that's going to help us sustain the coal mining and the power plants. And that has to be communicated. And who's better to communicate that than an individual that speaks the language and be able to connect with the people and let them know. Last night I was at Sawmill. 7 o'clock last night I was at Sawmill. So I was driving through the dirt road in the mountains. I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Dang, Andy got me in this position. But it was a good trip. I really enjoy interacting with grandpas. and grandmas. So this is the presentation I give to them. Generally, I explain to them that the general fund in 2023, 72 million was the royalties that the power plant and the mine had put into to help them maintain the business that they run at the chapter houses. So that's 31% of the general fund. And then some of the things that I tell them about is the employees at Navajo Mine and Four Corners Power Plant. Both entities together, there's 605 employees, but 528 of them are Navajos. Navajos working on the Navajo reservation and sustaining the business there, which is 86% of the company. In 2017, when NTEC started, there was only one Navajo-owned contractor working and assisting and helping the Navajo mine. Today, as you can see, there's 14 Navajo-owned contractors that are helping us sustain the business on the mine site, which is about $8 million that was spent during that time frame of 2023. The other things that we do for the community is some donations. 1.4 million was donated to the Navajo Nation entities and stuff that was out there, and in education, 131,000. The CBF is 250,000. There's a lot of discussion that goes into CBF when I go to the chapter houses. They really want to know how that functions. And basically all that is we got some money put aside for these chapter houses to come and contact us, and then we help them with whatever's needed. Like if they need a new floor, we'll purchase the materials for them at that time to ensure that they get what's needed for their community. And then of course, CHIRP, I'll talk a little bit more about it on the next slide, it's 2.4 million. So total contributions, 4.2 million to our community. CHIRP stands for Community Heating Resource Programs. There was 9,524 visitors that year. That's a lot of people coming into this area from Lechee and Gray Mountain, along with some of these folks drive a long way across the Navajo Nation. It takes 3 hours to drive across the Navajo Nation. And some of the roads are not very well also, but they do take the trip and they get a load of coal. Some of them will ask us if it's possible if we could deliver coal to them. And we do. We do a bulk load. 2,740 truckloads were given to our local community. And then if you look at tons, there's 13,000 tons that was given during that time frame. At that point in time, the economic value that we spent was 2.4 million. So let me talk about the next step that we're doing with NAV Energy and ensuring that we conduct good, clean energy alternative. So this power plant is there. NTEC owns 7% of this power plant. And there's a discussion right now that APS is willing to step aside and allow us to purchase their ownership. And if we do that, we'll own the power plant. And at that point in time, we're looking at capturing the CO2, putting a CCS system on this power plant and capture the CO2. So how do you describe CO2 to grandmas and grandpas? When they hear CO2, it's a deadly gas. It's going to kill me. But then again, I explain to them, this is the way I explain to them. You get a Coke bottle and you shake it. And if I give it to you, what's going to happen if you open it up? Well, it's going to spurt out. Yes, that's CO2. Now, I would tell them that CO2 comes from us also. We breathe in oxygen, we expel CO2. 2 pounds, every one of us produce 2 pounds of CO2 each day. So, and then of course I get now I'm running into some NGOs and they're really, why are you producing so long? I said, well, I tell you what, how did you come to this chapter meeting? And you drove a vehicle, right? Yep. So let me explain this to you. I says, if you burn 1 gallon of gasoline, you produce 20 pounds of CO2. And they would be like, oh. And it's about education, right? It's about educating people, making them understand that this is not a bad thing if we take care of what needs to be taken care of. And that's what we're going to do, is we're going to take care of that CO2, minimize that reduction of it when it gets when the emissions go out. So that's what I explained to them, and they're very interested. They've never seen a power plant like this in their life, and you kind of have to relate that back to the stove they have in their homes also. So these are the 4 key items that I talked to them about. Is about installing a CCS system to remove the CO2 from the emissions, and then I tell them that we're going to install some solar panels, and it's going to be located just on the east side of the power plant, and it's on a permitted land, and it's going to run about 2 miles by 3 mile solar panel system, and it's going to generate about 210 megawatts, I believe is what they told me, and that's going to be running during the daytime, and then I would tell them, how's it going to work during the night? And they would say, well, it's not going to work. Of course it's not going to work. So we're looking at conducting some gas plants. It's going to be run by turbine off of a natural gas pipeline that runs nearby, and it's going to generate the power that's needed during the night. So these 2 systems are going to be alternating each other, helping each other during the day and during the night. The last thing that I talked to them about is transmissions. There's a lot of these transmission lines that runs across the Navajo Nation, and it goes to big cities like Phoenix and Los Angeles and Vegas, and I tell them that some of this power doesn't really come back to the Navajo Nation, and there's a discussion about what we can do to ensure that we have some sort of a transmission line to do that and allow some of that power that we generate to go back to the Navajo Nation and help them. Hopefully, it'll reduce the cost to them at the end of the day. So I tell them that at the end of the day, we'll still have quality jobs if we go and with what the plans are, and plenty of jobs are going to be available not only to the 605 employees that are working there, but to all the contractors that are working out there. There's probably like 300 or 400 contractors that come to the mine site that work every day, and it also supports our local community here, economy here in San Juan County also. So not only is there good quality jobs, but it's going to expand everywhere. Then we're going to be generating power cleanly by reducing the CO2 from the emissions, and then increasing the transmission capacity, and the revenues are going to continue to go to Navajo Nation. So it sounds pretty simple when you explain this in English, but in Navajo it's pretty difficult to explain, and sometimes we have to go back and forth, and I have to think ways of explaining that. And one of the ways about the transmission line is, one of the first questions that comes to me is, well, how can you ensure that you can lower costs? And I tell them, we're not responsible for that. Well, why can't you? And I says, it's like this. I says, let's say you're going to buy a pickup truck, and you go to General Motors in Detroit. You knock on their door. They answer the door and says, hey, I'd like to buy a pickup truck from you. What do you think they're going to tell you? They're going to tell you, go back to Webb Chevrolet, the dealership, and they'll sell you a pickup truck. They're going to tell you that we build trucks. They sell the pickup truck. That's how I explain it to them. We make the power. It's going to be whoever's going to be selling the power to you will be responsible for the cost that's been coming out of your pocket for that energy that you're going to be receiving. So basically, that's my presentation, and that's usually how I explain it to the Navajo people, and we've probably covered all of the eastern half of the Navajo Nation. We're in Fort Defiance now. It's been very positive. There's been a lot of people that supporting what we're doing. Last night when I was at Sawmill, there was an individual there who stood up and just supported the progress that we're doing, and hopefully we will continue to do that and continue on the positive note and wrap it up at the end of the day to continue the business locally here with the power plants and the mine. That's all I have.
It's refreshing to actually understand presentations. So thank you very much for how that you phrased that and what you had to share with us today. There's so many things going on right now in this region and in this country and even in the world. It feels like the tectonic plates are moving underneath of us right now, and we don't know how far they're going to go. But you've been exposed to opportunities. You've been exposed to opportunities to share information, for communication. And at this time, when we're all holding a personal computer in our hand, probably, or at least in our pocket, sometimes it even gets harder for us to communicate back and forth. Sometimes the dichotomy of points of view divide us rather than finding a collective position to go forward. We want to show you opportunities. We want to express and build upon the economies that we have and the transition that we will have for the new economy for tomorrow as well. But there are significant impacts when we start talking about the scope of power plants and coal mines and closures. We've been through this before. We've lost 1,500 jobs with another power plant and another coal mine, that there wasn't time, or there wasn't an answer, or there wasn't willing partners to help chart a different future for. There's a couple more things that I wanted to add to the equation today, because we're going through a legislative session, and some of those tectonic plates are moving about 145 miles from here right now. It feels many times when we're going to Santa Fe that we're playing defense for the economy or for the opportunities that we have in this region here. And yes, that is the case. Many times there's bills that would affect us negatively that we have to raise the voice of, and we've asked many of you to use your voice for those opportunities as well. It's not all negative, though. There are some positive things that are happening that will potentially could have impact to each one of you as well. I was there just yesterday, and I heard about some House bills that would affect helping communities develop industrial parks and the infrastructure around development, the infrastructure for the development for those parks, to get companies to expand or relocate or to be recruited into New Mexico. That's significant. That's forward thinking on that. There's also some bills about requiring all the public agencies, the state agencies, to twice a year to publish who has a permit application, not by name, but what's the status and what's the timeline for the permit. Just to open up for transparency on how long it takes to do business with the state on that. Interesting concepts on that. And then there was something that I had heard of in the past, but I fully didn't understand, and I was going to introduce to you today. There's two bills on quantum computing. Computers use binary code, zeros and ones, to operate. Well, quantum computing has the opportunity to flip the zeros and ones back and forth during the equation. The fastest mainframe computers, and this is the Wikipedia version, is about 80% right, okay? The fastest computers in the world, mainframe computers, quantum computing, Google has exceeded that just recently by 3,000 to 4,000%. So what you can do with quantum computing is you can test your DNA. You can individualize a drug treatment for cancer that can be up to 60% more effective, short-term and long-term, using a scan, a computer scan. The applications are just enormous, and that's something that's really going to be, the next generation in computing for the world. The exciting part of it is New Mexico is the center of this. What's going on here with the recruitment of companies, what's going on at the University of New Mexico, what's going on with our two national labs that started doing research on this years ago, and now are partnering with private industry here in New Mexico that's leading the way. So are we the next Silicon Valley? Maybe. Maybe we are. And it's some of the efforts of what Forset is doing with the city and with the county and some other partners as well about broadband and connectivity and the speeds of fiber optic communication is all going to have an impact on you. And the work that Corey's doing for Forset with our Just Transition grants now for the second year has substantial opportunities for you and your businesses today and also for the future as well. If I get off this stage without telling each one of you to take a look at the pieces of paper on the table, they will throw me out. If you're not a member of FORSED, you should join. We're a good organization. We help businesses, and we're making a bigger piece of pie for the economy of San Juan County and the municipalities and for the people and for the businesses that we represent. We also have a newsletter that has about 1,500 subscribers, and there's professional development that's added on economic development every 2 weeks. So if you go to fourcornersed.com, you can sign up if you haven't, and you should, because it's good quality information. So you'll probably see something coming up about quantum computing in the next month or so on that as well. We also have something that we wanted to highlight to you. There's a professional development opportunity coming up with an organization that we partner with and support that each one of you may want to take advantage of or send your folks to as well. Four Corners Conference for Professional Development on Thursday, February 27th from 8 to 4:45 at San Juan College has an AI at Work and Beyond, a day of discovery. And it plays right into what we're talking about. How can you use AI? And the way they're going to talk about how to use AI is how can you use it on your everyday work? How can you use it when you write a document that you can check it to make sure the structure, the grammar, the clarity is optimized? How can you use it to answer simple questions but with context rather than just yes or no? Those are things that you're going to learn how to use it on Microsoft Excel, on Microsoft Word. You're going to find out applications how to be better. And every time you do an AI search, it takes 10 times the power of a normal Google search. So in economic development, power is king right now. Everyone thought efficiency was going to cut the demand for power. It's not the case. We're seeing larger projects and more demand and more megawatt, even gigawatt projects than we've ever seen before. So it's all the above. It's solar, it's natural gas, and even clean coal with sequestration that may be our future. So we have a lot going on here in San Juan County. We're really, really happy to be before you today and to share the opportunities of today and look forward to tomorrow. Last thing, we had a couple people that sneak in that I do want to recognize. We had Mayor Duckett, that's one of our great partners and leaders in the community. We have President Pendergrass, that the partner of the college that I don't even think we could be successful with all their offerings that they have. And we have the county manager, Mike Stark, who's a great leader himself, leading the way with the county and our county commissioners for the rail projects and many other things as well.
Tim, one other. Mayor Tencio. Mayor Tencio.
I think I actually mentioned the mayor because I talked about speaking for 40 minutes when they only wanted 10, okay? Yeah, okay. On behalf of Four Corners Economic Development, thank you for coming today. You will see an announcement of our next topic. We're working on that very, very soon. And it's a great time and a great gathering to learn about the community and to learn more about where we're going in the future. Thank you very much for your attendance.